it. So we'll talk more about that coming up in just a few minutes. Also, a dangerous intersection in Lowndes County. There may be a fix for this intersection. We will talk more about that and kind of how this fix came to be coming up in just a couple of minutes. Gabe.
Emily, thank you so much. Looking forward to hearing from that and much more with what you have for us tonight at 5 o'clock. We'll see you then. So as we bring it back here to the Mississippi Live Weather Center, we're getting a look outside at Amory, where this is one of the areas we're tracking some of those showers and storms. Would not be shocked at all if we did get a few of those rumbles of thunder, but you can see the heavy rainfall falling and the dry air there in the background. So yes, it is still isolated, but where those downpours are moving into, it's going to be pretty heavy for some. Down in Macon, this is another area where we're seeing some of those darker clouds on the horizon, as well as some of the sunshine, again indicating the isolated nature of these storms, but it will be a welcome sight as we still work to alleviate some of those drought conditions here in North Mississippi. It's also bringing some of that rain-cooled air, 77 degrees in Macon. No one's complaining about that. And a big thank you there to the folks there at Fastnet for sponsoring our view down in Noxubee County. Winona, 90 degrees. We were just talking about 77, but 90 degrees out in Montgomery County. Rain is on the horizon, and with that could come some relief, because feeling like 99 degrees is not a welcome sight that anyone wants to experience here in North Mississippi. So there's where those heavy downpours are taking place, right there close to Winona, even up there towards Amory, as we mentioned, Monroe County. But these are real isolated beyond that point, not affecting everybody. In fact, at the Manor House, it sprinkled at our neighbor's house, but our house didn't exactly get so much. So I just got off the phone with my wife and said, hey, looks like we're going to have to water heading into this evening once I get home. And yes, that's at 11 o'clock. So as you look at those rain chances and where that rain has fallen, some of the heaviest portions actually down there towards Humphreys County, 6.2 inches of rainfall just over the past 24 hours. Talbot County, 2.2 inches. Winston County, right around that same margin, 2.4. And the heaviest downpours have remained south of 82, but really the heaviest downpours have remained right along those coastal regions. So if you even wanted to plan a beach trip this week, be glad you didn't, because this is the experience you would have signed up for. Rainy, soggy, just not exactly the perfect beach weather. Here in North Mississippi, not too bad, but it really depends on where you're at. Stationary front, the reason why we're getting a ton of that rainfall as that system continues to linger around, and that'll be our story heading into this evening and even for our Tuesday, as you see how that stationary front just all across the southeast part of the United States. So there's where our chances will come from, even heading into Tuesday. So if you didn't get the rainfall today, and you're hoping for it tomorrow, well, you have a pretty good chance to see it, as that frontal boundary will allow additional development. So there's a look at our rain chances heading into tonight. Even by 10 o'clock, it's not impossible at all to get a few rumbles of thunder once again here in North Mississippi, but don't fret, no severe weather is expected. It is just going to be some of those summer thunderstorms moving through the area, but even that coverage and magnitude dissipating out as we head into those overnight hours, and we'll be experiencing a calmer start to our Tuesday before rain chances push back by the afternoon. As we track out the next 24, I mentioned dry to start the day, already tracking 10% by 9, 30% by noon, and we're upping to about 40 to 50% coverage across North Mississippi to get into our Tuesday afternoon plans. And that's very similar to our coverage we've had so far today. So hopefully it's more hit than miss, because if you're like the Manor household, we need the rainfall, and we're hoping for it getting into our Tuesday. We'll track where that's at. And it seems like we'll have some friends along the way coming up in the next 60 seconds as Mississippi Live Weather at 5 continues right after the break.
Looking for a place to finally call home? At Tupelo Home Center, we make it easy. From finding the perfect home to making financing a breeze, we'll take care of everything. Your new home is closer than you think. Pre-qualify today at TupeloHomeCenter.com.
People are like Bulldog Burger Company. Great burgers. Okay, stop right there. Yes, they make the best burger you ever had. Never smashed, but that's not all. Look at this chicken BLT salad. Just look at it. And a chicken sandwich? No. Come in here. Get closer. It's the chicken sandwich. Wait, where are you taking that? Come back. Oh, that's good.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us here on Mississippi Live. Happy Monday to you. I'm Emily Leonard. A dangerous intersection in Lowndes County may finally be getting a fix. The Mississippi Department of Transportation is planning a new design at Highway 45 and Mike Parra Road, one that cuts out the left turns and the straight crossings. This is called an R-cut. It's a way of redesigning a dangerous intersection so people cannot make a tricky turn. You can follow the blue dots and arrows around one way, the red dots and the arrows around the other way. MDOT recorded 29 crashes at that spot in just over 6 years. Another one happened Thursday that sent 6 people to the hospital. This would be the first 5-lane R-cut in the state, with bidding expected by late 2027. The public comment period is open from now until August 4th. And it's a mother's love that really got this project moving. Melissa Jenkins lost her 23-year-old son Nicholas in a crash at that location last August. And since then, she's been fighting to bring new safety measures to the intersection. MDOT says her efforts helped highlight the need for a fix. And just recently, in June, she adopted that stretch of highway where he died in his honor. And now she's rallying neighbors to speak up during this public comment period, hoping to speed things up. You can read more on her story and MDOT's plans in the dispatch. So take a look at this. The city of Oxford posted these photos today. The Mississippi Department of Transportation, you might remember, closed the South Lamar Boulevard Bridge over Highway 6 back in May. And this is what it looks like today. It looks pretty good. Crews hydroblasted and repaved the bridge deck, but it's not open just yet and not sure when that is going to happen. But for right now, traffic control and detour signage still in place. So please slow down and pay attention. In Union County, there's an app for that. The county's launched its own smartphone app. You'll get alerts on things like your garbage pickup, road closings, weather emergencies, but it does have a lot more than just notifications. You can pay delinquent taxes, look up property records, pay your garbage fees, and even contact county officials directly. And it's free. Just search Union County MS in your app store. And before we go, just a quick reminder to get your ticket for this year's St. Jude Dream Home. Tickets are going fast as of today. More than 5,800 tickets are already gone. So what are you waiting for? And if you do get your ticket right now, you will also be entered for a chance to win a $10,000 shopping spree to Brooks Grocery. Doesn't that sound awesome? All you got to do is go to dreamhome.org or call the 1-800 number, 1-800-456-8351, and get your tickets now. Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us here on Mississippi Live. I'm Emily Leonard. Have a great day.
Hi, I'm Mississippi Live Chief Meteorologist Matt Lopon. Reserve your St. Jude Dream Home giveaway ticket by July 31st, and you'll be eligible to win the house and the early bird prize, a $10,000 gift card to Brooks Grocery. Visit dreamhome.org to reserve your ticket for $100 and help St. Jude Children's Research Hospital continue its life-saving work. Then watch Mississippi Live on October 29th to see who wins the house and the other prizes. Reserve your ticket today.
Boys and Girls Club of North Mississippi presents Dance Like the Stars 2026, Saturday, August 8th at the Huntington Bank Arena. Floor seating is $50 and general admission seating is $20. All proceeds benefit the Boys and Girls Clubs of North Mississippi. For more information, visit bgcnms.org.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
You know, I don't want to block the reporting station, but I feel like the left side of the screen definitely tells the story. You can see there, well, I guess right side for you guys, left side for me. But you can see the pop-up showers and storms with some heavy downpours included continue to work their way through all of North Mississippi, including parts of Ackerman over there in Choctaw County. So that's the story there. Also bringing some of that rain-cooled air. That's why it's only 81 degrees right now in Choctaw County. 81 degrees in the middle of July. No complaints there. And that's what this rainfall is doing, is keeping some comfortable temperatures around and even dropping that heat for a lot of us here in North Mississippi. 88 degrees, feeling like 100 degrees. This up in Clarksdale, where showers have remained few and far between over the last 24 hours. All that being said, it's not possible to see some development, but definitely not the coverage that they're getting further south towards South Mississippi and even the southern part of our viewing area. So that's where heat unfortunately becomes a reality for folks that are staying drier. 82 degrees in Fulton, a beautiful afternoon out there, and we're continuing to watch those showers as they move across parts of North Mississippi. Like I mentioned, a little bit more coverage down south, but nonetheless, we are still getting some of those impactful storms up here in our area, including this one moving through Montgomery County. This is what we were getting a look at there in Ackerman, viewing out towards parts of Montgomery County. And as we track this boundary, moving at about, 25, 30 miles an hour or so, we can get a track on that latest scan there. And as we drag this out through Holmes and Itala County, this is going to be one of the heavier lightning producers. So we're going to take that about 25 miles an hour towards the south. And you can see as we clear off some of those towns just what we're tracking. And it's going to be the lightning as the main factor with this one, along with some brief periods of heavy rainfall. Vaden, we're 514, Chula 525, French Camp 539, Lexington 539, Durant 551, Ethel 604, Kosciuszko 605. So during our 6 o'clock broadcast, probably getting a visual on this storm. So we'll make sure to include that in our tour of North Mississippi when it comes to our cameras. And as we bring it up towards the north a little bit more, this one towards Amory, you can see how that's moved through the area, brought some of that heavy rainfall we saw on our North Mississippi Storm Chaser camera just a moment ago. But as that continues to track further towards the south and west, we can almost get a visual of a little bit of an outflow boundary. And what these are is an area of rain-cooled air that continues to move towards the south and west, and that's going to allow additional development. While the speed is not overly fast, I think we can take it about 20 miles an hour to give enough of a heads up for folks out there. And as we continue to move through Monroe County, we'll probably get a visual through Aberdeen and even out there towards Caledonia, so keeping eyes on those cameras as well. Aberdeen, we're 534, Caledonia 548, so probably by 6 o'clock those showers and storms will be wrapping up. That's how short these do last. So if you're looking for any of those evening plans and don't want to get rained on, then we'll give it about 20 minutes once that rain does start, and it should be working its way out of the area. So overall coverage, those are the 2 areas that we are watching. But as those boundaries continue to move towards the south and west, that's where additional development is definitely possible. And out towards Hollandale, just clearing off towards the south of you, going along Highway 61. So not really concerned as much for folks over there in Humphreys County. So looking at 7 p.m., 40% coverage there, and we're moving to 30% by 9, 20% by about midnight. So that's going to continue to dissipate out as we head into those overnight hours. And impacts going to be few and far between, fortunately. So no severe weather threat as we're tracking those overnight rumbles. So looking at our futurecast, you can see how that coverage just diminishing even by midnight. Not a ton of coverage, but a rumble of thunder not impossible. But I want to bring reassurance that we're not tracking severe weather if there are any rumbles of thunder. So by 5 a.m., we're seeing a much drier forecast. It's going to be a much calmer start to the day, but still pretty mild across North Mississippi as we're keeping that moisture around. We're 70 towards Bruce and Eupora, 71 Amory, Tupelo, 69 towards Red Bay and Hamilton, but seeing 73 degrees towards parts of Greenville. So it is still going to be mild, and those mild temperatures will be warming up. But I'll be honest, not really that toasty. We're only 84 degrees by noon, 85 towards the afternoon, and a big part of that is due to the rain-cooled air. Showers and storms once again playing a part in our forecast, and it's all due to this stationary front, this low-pressure system that's lingering here in North Mississippi. So watch how it's dry for the start of the day, but already getting some of that development happening right along that low-pressure system by noontime, and with that, it'll kick out some of those outflow boundaries, and that'll allow additional development to take place as that kind of wraps around that low-pressure center. So by 3 p.m., if you're in the Golden Triangle or any of the surrounding counties, including towards Lee, Pontotoc, Lafayette, Calhoun, and Webster County, that's where we're watching the highest chances of rainfall for you. But getting more towards the late afternoon and early evening, as that moisture and as that development continues to wrap around that low pressure center, that's where we're looking at some additional development towards parts of Clarksdale or up there towards Senatobia or Cleveland or Greenville. So all of North Mississippi has a chance at seeing rainfall. That doesn't mean all of North Mississippi will be getting rainfall. Trust me, I know from today. And while the chances were there, it never produced at the Manor household. So it's still some hit or miss showers, but it is going to be more hit than miss getting into our Tuesday. Temperature-wise, though, it's going to feel phenomenal. We're 87 degrees Tupelo and Houston, 86 Golden Triangle there for Starkville and Columbus, 89 Belzona. Not impossible to reach up towards the 90s, but that's if we stay dry throughout the entirety of the day. And those heat indices are going to climb as well, as that Mississippi mugginess remains in full effect, but still not up to the overwhelming potential that we saw just a couple of weeks ago. And that is on the horizon heading into this weekend, so we'll track that in just a moment, but I didn't want to focus on that too much. As we continue into our Tuesday night, we see the rainfall sticking around, and as this stationary front sticks around in our forecast, I believe that's going to keep a few pop-up showers possible heading overnight and into the start of our Wednesday, and it is going to keep the mild temperatures around once again. We're 70 degrees Tupelo, Amory, and Starkville, 69 Eupora, Bruce, and Kosciuszko, 71 Cleveland, Clarksdale, and Tunica. while it is mild, it is below average, and we're going to enjoy those conditions all the way through our midweek pattern. Let's track Futurecast out throughout our Wednesday, and you see that rain chances remain pretty limited. But by the afternoon, similar to our Tuesday, that's where that coverage does increase a bit more, and even a few rumbles of thunder and brief heavy downpours possible. As we continue into the afternoon hours, there's where that scattered coverage will begin to increase, so don't let the morning fool you. That's not the story through the entirety of the day, and we will be dodging a few of those rain chances into the afternoon. Now, eventually, that system does start to fade on out, and as it does, it'll take those rain chances with it. And so as we head into our Wednesday night, we are not tracking much of any rainfall, and it's really going to start to thin up a little bit more to wrap up the work week. Still, with that, our temperature is going to be taking a hit due to those rain chances, and it's going to be feeling much more comfortable. Still by midweek, we're 86 New Albany and Oxford, 88 Macon and Aliceville, 88 Belzona, Greenwood, and Grenada. So we'll take that in mid-July for sure. 92 New Albany and Boonville for those feels-like values, 95 Starkville, and still seeing mid-90s out there towards Clarksdale, Cleveland, Greenville, Belzona, and Greenwood. So enjoy it. Get out there if you can, of course, because we will still be dodging those rain chances. But by Wednesday, we're 30% coverage, Thursday, 20%, 10% by Friday, and really going to be isolated throughout the entirety of the weekend. So that means the majority of us stay dry, some of us having to dodge a pop-up shower. Temperature-wise, as those conditions become drier, those temperatures do start to increase, and we're going to be reaching into the mid-90s by Sunday. So like I said, the forecast does start to shift eventually. So this midweek stretch, as good as it gets from mid-July when it comes to those temperatures. Rain chances, still having to dodge a few of those. But still, as we look over this 3-day stretch, no severe weather is expected, and that's a positive in the grand scheme of things. But speaking of positive, that increase in those temperatures into the weekend, that's what we're watching as we get into those weekend plans. Heat advisories, possible. We'll be looking at that as we approach that weekend forecast. We're going to continue to assess this entire pattern when it comes to rain chances and that potential heat moving in by the weekend, coming up tonight at 6 o'clock, as well as hearing from our Emily Leonard on the very latest on what's happening here in North Mississippi. So stay tuned for that. Excited to continue that coverage throughout your Monday evening. Download that Mississippi Live app today, free and available on iOS and Android. Like, subscribe, and follow on all of our social media platforms, and appreciate everyone for joining us in the chat tonight. If you want to join the conversation, you can join us on social media, and of course, we'll be tracking those comments coming up tonight at 6, and any questions that you have, we'll hopefully answer as well. So put it down in the chat. We'll talk to you guys at 6. Coming up tonight at 6, like I mentioned, we're going to be looking at that long-range pattern and how that will pair with our weekend plans. I know it's Monday, but we're always looking ahead to the weekend. So make sure to tune in for that. And again, what our Emily Leonard has to say about what's going on here in North Mississippi, all that coming up